So it's not quick. How many chapters is there?
3 sections. All right, we're going to start with this picture here. Okay. Now, the Little Rock 9 crisis is in 1957. Okay, and it's going to be the desegregation of Little Rock Central High School. Okay, now like I mentioned in the picture, this is Elizabeth Eckford. Okay, she was one of the 9 Little Rock 9. Now, Eckford is going to not be picked up like the other 8 were. Okay, the other 8 were picked up by the NAACP, but Eckford did not have a phone, so she had to walk to school herself. Okay, now when she's walking to school, she's going to have a white mob that follows her, okay, taunts her, harasses her, and she would actually have 2 white individual females that would sit with her at the bus stop and kind of make her time or her experience a little better, but it still would not erase the mob that followed her. Okay, now, Arkansas in 1944 was moving towards desegregation of colleges, okay, and they actually do desegregate and are further ahead than most southern states. Okay, they had two people who supported desegregation that was in the government. So Arkansas again is just a little further advanced than the other southern states. Now, what's going to happen though is Arkansas has a very racist governor. Okay, Orville Faubus supports segregation, and so when the Little Rock 9 show up to attend Little Rock High, he is actually going to order the National Guard to turn away the Little Rock 9. Okay, so in this picture up here, you can see that there's National Guard troops. Okay, why are they not protecting her? Because their point is to make sure that she does not get into the school at this point. Okay, and that is the Arkansas National Guard. Okay, now like I said, the other 8 were drove to school. Okay, but Eckford had to walk alone. Okay, you imagine you would be pretty terrified if you had to walk alone and face all the racism that Eckford faced. Now, Eckford, after this incident, after she graduates from high school, okay, she's going to disappear from the spotlight. She's not going to do a lot of interviews, okay, because this moment basically kind of scars her for much of her life. So she doesn't do a whole lot with the public after this incident. All right, we're going to watch a quick little video. We're actually going to have to be forced to send troops to Little Rock High, okay, because with Orville Faubus creating the Arkansas National Guard to not allow the students in, Eisenhower is going to have to make sure that those students are allowed in. So what Eisenhower is going to do, he's going to take the National Guard from Arkansas, remove them, and then send in national troops and put them under federal control. Okay, they would escort the Little Rock 9 into the school building, and they would escort them to class and stay with them. Now, after a few days, obviously, the National Guard is going to have to leave, okay, and the Little Rock 9 are going to have to be on their own. Okay, it was a rough year. There's going to be a lot of taunting and bullying throughout the school year that would occur to the Little Rock 9. Okay, now, actually, by the 1958, Orville Faubus decides he wants to close down Little Rock High because of the desegregation process. Okay, obviously, it would reopen eventually, okay, but initially, the governor does shut it down. Okay, September 9th of 1957, Congressman Lyndon Johnson is going to pass the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Okay, this did 2 things. First of all, it gives the Attorney General more power, okay, when it comes to desegregation. And then the second thing it did is it put voting rights in the hands of the federal government. Okay, so what that meant is that states could no longer have literacy tests, poll taxes, the grandfather clause to prevent individuals from voting. Okay, so its significance, it puts more power for the federal government with voting rights. All right, the next thing we'll talk about is the Montgomery bus boycott. Okay, and the video talked a little bit about it that you watched on Friday or Thursday. Okay, December 1st, 1955 is the start of the Montgomery bus boycott. Okay, a lady by the name of Rosa Parks is going to be on a bus, and she will not give up her seat. Okay, the bus is filling up, and a white man comes in, and there are available seats. Okay, but they are next to African Americans. And so the bus driver is going to ask Rosa Parks to get up so the white man can sit by himself. Okay, Rosa Parks is going to say no, and the bus driver is going to say, if you do not give up your seat, I will call the police. Okay, and Rosa Parks' response is, go ahead and do that. Okay, once they call the police, Rosa Parks would be arrested. Okay, why? Because she would not give up her seat on the bus. Okay, as soon as this event occurs, this starts the Montgomery bus boycott. Okay, the NAACP is going to order a bus boycott, and they're going to have to select a leader to organize and lead the Montgomery bus boycott. Okay, they choose a guy by the name of Martin Luther King. At this time, he's pretty young. Okay, he's a minister, and he was working on his doctorate in school. Now, he is going to, once he is selected, he kind of is hesitant. He doesn't know if he can handle the situation. He says that he'll try his best, but he doesn't know how well he will do. Okay, turns out Martin Luther King is going to be pretty successful in leading the civil rights movement. Okay, so December 5th of 1955, King is going to give a speech. He is going to give a speech to roughly 10,000 people. Okay, and by the end of his speech, people were on their feet, they were applauding him, and they were bought into what Martin had to say. Okay, again, Martin Luther King, a very powerful speaker, which is going to make him successful when it comes to the civil rights movement. Okay, what he is going to encourage African Americans to do is not ride the buses. Okay, and they would be successful, 50,000 of them for 381 days. They refused to ride the bus. Okay, why would refusing to ride the bus, why would bus companies care? They're going to lose money, okay? They don't have enough money, and so once they lose money, their company would go bankrupt, okay? And so it's going to be very successful, and African Americans are going to use other means of transportation. They would use station wagons, carpool. A lot of them are just going to walk, okay? And again, bring a lot of success. Now, violence is going to follow the Montgomery bus boycott. King's home would actually be bombed. Nobody was actually injured, but you can see violence starting to break out. Okay, all while people, not the protesters, okay, but whites are becoming violent, the protesters are remaining non-violent throughout the entire time. Okay, by 1956, which we talked about on Friday, okay, the Supreme Court would outlaw bus segregation. Okay, and so was the Montgomery bus boycott a success? Yes. Okay. All right, real quick, we will watch